What's happening? How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Good to be here. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Welcome to the lab. Good evening. Hit that like button on the way in. If you would. What's happening? Good to see you guys. Happy Friday to you. I know Friday's a... Let me give you a little air horn for the Friday. For the Friday crew. There you go. And tonight, we finish up the 4-part series on the Michael Vaughan case. That does not mean we are done with it. We are just going through each individual suspect by themselves because they all deserve the attention. And, tonight we finished with the most infamous, I guess, of all the suspects. One of the most hideous people, specifically on the inside, but I know that people aren't too fond of his looks. And look, I'm not a beauty queen either, so, it kind of matches his inside. He's not a very nice person at all. And he is a prime suspect. And now that we've all seen his attempt to work with law enforcement through the, I guess you would say, the body cam footage. And I know that people are saying that it was a confession, and it certainly wasn't a confession. There was a lot of admissions, but that's not quite what a confession is. I've watched, let me see here. I have watched all of them after this one. You have taught me many details about the case. Thank you for all your work, Josh. Praying for Michael Vaughan and family, as we all definitely are. Thank you so much for that. And I'll turn this into a playlist. That way, you can go boom, 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 boom. Love people calling it. It wasn't an interrogation, but there was some admissions and there were shocking moments. I guess it could be used as a confession, and I don't know what it'll be used for. It didn't yield what was hoped out of it. However, that's understandable. But a lot of the biggest part of me just wishes that it, you think, well, you don't want Michael to be found like that. And Sharon, thank you so much. Thank you for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Josh. Great series. It's my pleasure. Josh sound is pretty low. Is it really? Hold on. Let's see here. Is that any better? Well, the faders look good to me. All right. I always check the fader to seems like they're okay. Anyway. It's one of those things where you would think that you would hope that there would be some finality to this situation. However, there still is not finality, but charges are coming. And, we played that, I believe it was last week at some point, and I can't quite remember because everything has kind of been jumbled together. And I apologize I apologize for not being here yesterday. If you caught any of the after dark, my pup Otis, he is really prone to these gnarly ear infections that come on out of nowhere. Whether you clean his ears, you put Automax in it, whatever it is, inevitably something somewhere gets down in his ear, and it throws off his equilibrium. And last night was good, but the night before, why do people keep saying turn up the volume? The volume's up. You turn up your volume. I don't know. Yeah, volume's fine. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If your volume's down, I just hope you turn your volume up. Turn your volume up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Wake everybody up in your house. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, his it's just, and it's it's an insufferable thing to have to watch, and you just sit there and you watch your little guy struggle, and I mean, to the point he's walking funny, his head's wobbling, he's sick to his stomach, and it's just a miserable thing from everybody's perspective. So see, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. But it's just it's a terrible thing to watch. I was up till 6 a.m. with him. I had finished the live with Dr. Gary. Dr. Gary and I had a great live, not last night, the night before. It was 3 hours. When we're done, I'm tired. It's late. I walk in the house, and immediately I can see. Immediately, I can see it in his face. What's going on? I saw it. I was getting ready to eat something. That food sat there untouched. It got thrown away the next day because my stomach instantly was just, it was just the worst. But let me tell you this. I did have some medicine. It's not that I'm not prepared, sort of, for it. And he woke up the next day. Doing well. I gave him his medicine, some ear flush, cleaned what I could, and he's doing good. He's a little tired. And the fact of the matter was, I actually had to give him, unfortunately, and I've only had to do this one time. I had to give him a sedative because he was miserable. He couldn't settle. He was just running around. It was just the worst. It was one of the worst things. But yeah, he's just really, yeah, he was to the point where he was almost like hyperventilating. Automax is good. But anyway, so that's what happened. I was exhausted, and so I apologize. He is feeling better. He's doing a lot better. Thank God. I'm so happy that he is. But good Lord, he just, if any of you guys like have dealt with these ear infections, it looks like it has, and it's hard for me to read the chat. Feel free to email me at labratarmy@gmail.com, and I'd love to read some of your guys's tips. And I know that a lot of people have dealt with it. It's just the worst, but he's fine right now. So, anyway. Yeah, I love him to death. The worst part about it is, and then we'll get into what we're talking about here, but one of the worst parts about it, is that he wants to be comforted when he doesn't feel good. And I tried to make a bed for him, and then he would, get anxious and dizzy and then run off from it. And he's a Frenchie. He's 3 years old. And it's like, it's just terrible. Terrible, terrible. But he's doing better. So I'm thankful for that. But the night was rough. I just could not get him to settle. And the sedative or whatever it was, I don't want to say the name of it, but it was like, it took like 2 hours to kick in because that's how worked up he was. And he just wanted to be comforted, but he couldn't sit still. It was just a mess. But it's what we do for our dogs. And is your dog prone? It's just, he is the cutest. I don't even know if I have a picture of him ready to go, but yeah. And then Macho, the weird thing is they get very jealous. Like Macho, who is his biological father, Maury style, he gets really jealous. Like if he feels like he's getting ignored in any way, shape, or form, I mean, he really does. He just because every night Macho has to, I think I told you this, but every night Macho has to crawl up on my chest and I have to wrap my arms around him and pat him like a baby. And it's been like that since like the second day that I got him. If that doesn't happen, he's upset. And I just couldn't not focus on Otis, So he was pissed. He growled at me a couple of times. No joke. And, we got through it. We maintained. But yeah, they're jealous. They are jealous dogs. Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate that. He was pissed. He's like, "Why aren't you holding me?" And I was like, then I would try and pet him. I tried to make a bed on the floor. I laid on the floor. It was just sucked. It was horrible. But doing much better. Still recovering. I'm still tired today, but I'm on the mend. So anyway, and thank you guys for reaching out. I appreciate it. All right. So what are we getting? We're getting into today. We're talking about Stacey Wondra, prime suspect in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan, who went missing. I believe it was July 27th, 2021. Not to be mistaken with 2001, which I got lambasted for as soon as I said it. Sometimes, I'm not math. I'm actually kind of okay at math, but dates sometimes, I think I'm dyslexic to some degree. So anyway, I apologize about that because the dates really do matter. And, I messed that up and, I'm sorry about that. July 27th, 2021, from Fruitland, Idaho. And it just feels like it was yesterday, that I received an email, and I'll tell you I'll tell you a little bit about how I got involved in this case. I got reached out to by somebody. I believe she has a channel now, but I think she used to be a frequent on the channel, and her Purple Phoenix was the channel name. I got an email from her one day. This was when everybody was covering the Summer Wells case, including me, and not that I don't cover it anymore. I certainly do and am and have stuff that we're working on. But I will say that I got an email, and this is what the email basically said. And I don't want to go back and read it for verbatim, but that there's a mother who is missing a child. They gave me the details of it. They said, we're trying to get coverage for this case desperately. And would you be interested in covering her case? And the answer obviously was yes. Um, I did a little bit of research on the case, found out, it was at the time it was, I think he hadn't really been missing that. I mean, compared to now, I mean, it's been over 3 years, but uh, I was going to set up something with Brandy. However, she was watching the show that I was doing. She came up, we had a conversation. And then I told her that I wanted to introduce her to somebody that I knew from the Cold Case Foundation. And from there, it just sort of took off and kind of organically, the Cold Case Foundation and Fruitland and God bless Chief Huff, who accepted the help that was offered to him. It takes a real strong leader to be able to do stuff like that. And I know a lot of agencies aren't that happy about it sometimes. They don't want they don't want to feel like they're being shown up, by seasoned detectives or whoever it is. And so I applaud JD Huff, Chief Huff, excuse me, for everything that he has done. He is a good man and a hardworking man and an honest one, I believe, who actually cares. And so God bless him as well as all the other agents that have been working and are still working, including the prosecutors, Brandy, mother of Michael and Tyler. And I'm sorry that you guys get chastised for the worst time in your lives, knowing that there are 4 suspects and possibly more involved. Who knows how deep it goes. But I just think that it's a terrible thing when evidence is presented in front of you and you don't have the wherewithal, nor the guts, nor the brains, or the moral fortitude or integrity to admit when you've made a mistake and to back off. And some people just don't have that in them. Why? I don't know. I think if you have the guts to have such a strong stance, you have to have the guts to admit when you're wrong. But who am I to tell you, and they're mostly wrong. It's pretty sad. So anyway, I won't mention their names because they're nobodies and I don't care about them. Most people know what's coming. Most people know what the truth is. And to save face, people want to, everybody has to be right. Everybody has to be first. Everybody has to it's just not important. What's important is finding Michael, bringing him home, and bringing those who have potentially harmed him to justice. That's what's most important. And I'm not looking to fight with people. I'm not looking to argue with people. I don't have a dog in the fight. The only thing that matters to me is the justice that is deserved for Michael. And we're not getting any help from the 4 suspects as of now, but hopefully they will be charged here soon. And I believe that will happen. They'll do this with Sebastian's case too. Yeah, I really just ignore the opinions of people that I have no interest in learning a thing from. And I would suggest that you guys probably do the same. That's just my advice. What they do is they carry on about things because nobody else wants to listen to anything. No other case, no other subject will do because their numbers dip and they do them for numbers. And when you hashtag kids and stuff like you know, and I'm not, I promise you, I'm not hashtagging anybody. I probably should, but that's just how they work. Okay. So it's the same thing, rinse and repeat. They don't have any breaking news. And it's more of a mudsling fest, and nobody can sling mud. I had a great arm in high school and college, so, but I don't want to. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Like I said, I made a promise to Brandy, especially after I got to know her, and you know, she was vetted by the police and Tyler as well. And it's more than obvious what's going on here. So let's see. That's why I'm particularly about who I follow. That's very nice. I'm glad that you do. Brandy needs answers before she gets any sick or letter. Well, I agree with that, but I also think that Brandy, I'm praying that Brandy is going to be just fine. Now, the people, thank you for the people that came over from Pearls. Justin, thank you for sending over. You know, Justin and I had what I would consider, I think it was an interview, although I wasn't in the best of moods that day. And I remember Justin was like, hey, you should come, and Stacy's like agreed to, because he was on this like tour of proclaiming his innocence and trying to persuade people, and it bit him in the ass so hard, just like the bull that smashed his nuts in a friggin' vice grip. And I told him that it was not good. This was not going to work out well for him. After that, I received threatening text messages. First of all, it was begging me for money. I told him to, you know, eat shit and leave me alone type thing. I mean, he would send me thumbs up all the time. Dum, 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 dum. I was just like, oh my God, shut up. Leave me alone, you know? And then, finally, I just engaged. I said, dude, what do you want? And I remember him saying, you know, you're not going to be happy till I'm in jail. I was like, well, I don't know about that. You know, the funny thing about that, Justin, was that it wasn't even planned. It just happened that way. And I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember when you asked me to do it? My answer was no. I don't know. Do you remember that? Unequivocally, I said, no, I don't want anything to do with that guy. I don't want to talk to him. I couldn't bring myself to want to talk to him. And you're like, come on. And I was like, no, I didn't want to do it. I had no intention of doing it. Then I started listening to this guy talk, and I got so annoyed by his bull crap, like just the way that he carried himself and his smug, egotistical bullshit. I was so annoyed by him, and just the smugness. And he thought he was so smart, and Justin was doing a fantastic job. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know how many chances you'll get at this. Let's get to it. Debbie, yeah, that's how I think that was how I started this conversation. And I'm going to play some of it for you here, and then a couple other interviews that I'm going to react to. And I was so annoyed by him. And I'm going to play a little bit of that, because that was my first interaction with him. And then I'll talk about a little bit about after how he was just a monster to deal with. An absolute turd in the punch bowl, a proverbial just dealing with him was like about the worst. So I'm gonna play a little bit up to, and Justin had done a really, this, And Justin had done a really great job talking about this case and interviewing him and got him really comfortable. And then I just came in and was like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna, and there were people in the chat, and I don't know, there was a lot of people watching that day, I'm sure. And I remember there were people in the chat. Some were like, get him, Josh. And I swear to God, I wasn't trying to get him. And then there were people saying, he's going to leave. Don't be mean to him. Don't be mean. He's going to leave. Oh, be nice. Josh is being mean. He's going to make him leave. And it was like, what? Oh my God. Yeah. She's like, shut up. And then finally I was like going to say, well, all right, I'll just go. I mean, I'll bounce if that makes anybody feel better. But, we're talking about a suspect and a suspect, a named suspect, not somebody that I suspect, not somebody that I think might have done something, not somebody that, maybe have been around at the time. I mean, we're talking about a suspect that put his big ass face on a poster board, and said, hey, we think this guy knows a lot more. And why? I'm right next to Justin here. Hey, bub. How you doing? Your hair looks nice. I would never channel him. How dare you say that name? I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Yeah, he did. He sent us a bill for the interview. He sent me one too. And then he told me he wanted me to buy him. I'll talk about it after. I mean, because this all happened after. Yeah, sackless suspect. Exactly. Yeah, come to find out. Exactly right. Like I said, it wasn't me. All right, let me make sure you guys can hear this.
You're going to your house.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
So pulling into the neighborhood.
Is there audio?
I told Sarah to stop to find out what was going on. They at then point, police officer said that a little boy had gone missing. We were like, really? And they're like, what's his name? We asked what his name was. They said it was Michael Vaughan. And we're like, okay, we'll keep an eye out for him or whatever. So we got back to the house on Red Wing Street, and Sarah and Brendan.
I apologize, guys. It's not Adrian. I've got Adrian's contact. It's not Adrian.
I know a lot of you have seen this, and some of you may have not, but this is something I just think that this was a really telling. I don't know what's up with that hair, but he almost looks like a like a newborn baby's hair on a Frankenstein's body. I don't know.
So if it is Adrian, he can come up, but I assure you it's not Adrian. Either come up, show your face. You don't have to show your face on camera up here, but you have to show it behind the scenes where I can see it. And if not, then nobody even mention it anymore, please. Be done with it. Sorry, Stacey.
It's all good. So we get back to the house and pull around Mallard Street, took a left on Mallard Street because Mallard Street leads onto Red Wing.
Okay.
And it was just easiest to go that way because we had a vehicle behind us that we were towing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pulled onto the side of the curb or the side of the road, which on our house, which is there's a curb.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Josh. This is Josh from the lab. He's my buddy.
What's up, Josh? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
I lied. It really wasn't that nice.
So pull onto the house on Red Wing Street. There is literally, there's people walking around everywhere, of course. Sarah and Brendan said they were going to go look for the kid or for Michael. I said, okay, well, I'm going to stay here because I got to get this car unlatched from being in the street because, you can't legally have a car taking up the whole length of the street pretty much.
Right.
So I went and did that while they went looking for Michael. They came back probably, I don't know, midnight, 12:30, said they had no luck on finding him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh crap! What am I doing? It's way
Oh,
too close.
I was like, man, that was good. No.
Sorry.
what happened there? God dang it, Justin.
Oh crap!
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. My face will be covered,
What am I
which is
doing?
fine. Oh my God. I mean, Justin looks good, but me and Stacy, we do not.
It's way too close.
I was like, man, that was good. No.
Sorry. about
It's
that.
okay. So that was the gist of that night.
There's McDonough. Now I'm blocked.
Okay.
Jesus.
That
All right,
was really all that happened.
This is Chris McDonough from the interview
I've
room.
met him.
You've met Chris? Okay, you've talked to Chris.
I remember when that set off a crap storm too.
I want to play this little bit right here.
You know him.
And
No question in our research today,
bear with me.
I have numerous eyewitnesses
Love him or hate him, he's the guy that should be looking.
they saw him that day.
I remember I was watching the OJ thing. Like, there's a new OJ documentary on Netflix, and I'm just overly engrossed about that case because of just the miscarriage of justice, and for obvious reasons, but things that pertain to my life as well. I remember that I think it was Van Adder was the guy's name. And, these guys seem like good detectives. And he was telling me, he was like, I've been on over 250 death investigations. And I was like, I think McDonough's been on 500. That's true. He's done twice as many.
Traveling eastbound on 9th Street.
All right, were you traveling
Options like northeast, south. I
east on 9th, right?
don't know where 9th. I've never been on 9th Street, so I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not good with directions like northeast, south, and west.
He's a taxi driver.
Okay. We're at home here. Okay.
You're not good with directions of being a taxi driver. That's a big problem. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay. There we go. All right.
Uh-oh.
Hey Josh.
Hey, how's it
How
going?
you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
How are you?
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream.
I hear you.
You have any questions you want to ask Josh?
Well, I kind of coming in halfway through here. Did you get to the interrogation part?
No. I've just been getting the story pretty much. That's about it
Gotcha. Okay.
of that day.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go.
Yeah, and I don't think that he liked me kind of budging in here, and like I said, I wasn't in the best of moods.
Go live again
Shocker, huh?
tomorrow. How long are we planning on doing this one today for? Because I literally just had to go back to the shelter.
Okay.
So I'm going to try
We're gonna do it until the lights go out, and then even after that, brother.
to get settled in, and they're getting ready to serve dinner here probably in about 10 minutes.
Okay. We can. Yeah.
So if that's okay, I'm obviously you see I'm committed. I have
Sure,
nothing
sure.
to hide. I'm not running. So
Okay.
I just don't want to make it seem bad to people. But like I said, I'm trying to get settled in. I've
Sure.
never been to this place before. So
Can you do another 15 minutes today?
yeah.
Okay. We can do it. We can set up another one tomorrow as well. Okay. All right. So question here.
Ouch.
Let me find this right here.
I'm
This is an interesting thing that Stacy said, and I wanted your comment on it.
I was
If I can
annoyed by
pull it
him.
up. I got so many screens pulled up,
Because
it's in-
this was good. This interview, and by the way, it's on Justin for All's channel. But Justin, I think that you should move it over if you can to Pearls, because I don't know if people go over there and Maybe you have. I don't know what you did.
Okay. All right.
You do what you're told.
And this is from forget what news. I'm sorry, I don't got the source on me right now, but it says according to documents, police forced entry into Wandra's home around 9:30 p.m. Friday.
Well, I don't think he was ever planning on coming back. Maybe he was, but if there was any hope of that, I'm sure that I ruined it. And Justin exactly wasn't buying what he was selling either, and he could tell that from especially towards the middle of this as well. I mean, it wasn't like Justin was going, "Oh, hey, you little bald-headed baby, we feel so bad." That's not what was happening.
Where they found Sarah Wondra in the living room. She was detained and read a copy of a search warrant. Quote, when I got to the portion that read murder, she said, quote, did you just say murder multiple times? End quote. A Fruitland police officer wrote in the affidavit, she also said, quote, I have never murdered anyone, end quote. Officials said Sarah Wondra maintained that she, quote, definitely did not kill that boy, end quote. That's her quote, not mine. And said, quote, the Most High God already told me who did it, end quote. She reportedly told police, quote, oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who killed him and buried him in the backyard, end quote, the neighbor's house.
And Barbie's 2 bits. Thank you, Josh, for the 4-part series on these dirtbags. Justice for Michael and prayers for the family. Thank you for your $10 donation. I appreciate that very much. There was a question here that I wanted to answer. Josh, had you seen Stacy's interrogation videos before you talked to him? I had never seen the videos until everybody else did. I knew what had happened. I hope I'm not telling, I knew about that they were out there. I knew I was kind of in the loop on that because of what happened. And then when they were leaked the other day, then my phone really started blowing up. I had the chance to see them. No, I did not see them. I didn't want to see it. I don't know if this was before or after that had happened. I think that happened after, but I knew that they had been obtained, and not really on purpose either. It was kind of like an accidental thing. I'm sure Justin explained that, but no, I didn't see them. I didn't watch them. Nothing.
When she asked later to show police where the boy was buried, according to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of the residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard, quote, in the backyard of the shed, end quote. Police said at that point they began to digging a portion of the Wandra's yard based upon information, quote, received from Stacy, who had not yet been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. It wasn't clear when or why.
Let's see here. Why do you get so mad when people have a different view on a case? First of all, do I look mad? And you blow up my comments with stupid comments. I'm not mad. They're just foolish. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't agree with you. Why don't you take what I say? I don't care what you have to say. I like I said, I don't have any dog in the fight. I just think you're wrong. Big deal. Go away.
Police had spoken with Stacy Wondra. Do you know why she would say something like that?
I'm appalled. I have no clue. She's literally like gone cuckoo. I'm a very high believer in God, and I believe in God strongly. And
so this is a part. And by the way, and I don't even know who you are, Purple Hearts, but I'm telling you, if you watch this and you think that this guy's telling the truth, and then you watched that body cam footage and you still nitpick and say things like that, then I am so glad that you are not in charge of any investigation other than the one that's going on in your head with the people that probably talk to you that aren't actually there. I mean, honestly, I don't know what you try to get at. I mean, you just dig and dig and dig, and there's just nothing there. I truly don't, and I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I've seen your comments. They're asinine. They don't make any sense. They're full of excuses. Why don't you just listen to what these dirt bags have to say while they're chugging beers and spitting chew, living in homeless shelters, running and hiding? I mean, it would be asinine to think that people that would hold people at gunpoint and have felony charges and do all these things that they're not supposed to do, break the law over and over and over and over. It makes no sense to me. None.
God,
why do you get so mad? Why do you get so mad?
God wouldn't tell a lie. You know what I mean? God is very
this is where it really started to piss me off.
You know what I mean? God is very you know what I mean? God is very you know, he
well,
he died on the cross.
God may not tell a lie, but humans will. Let me ask you this
That's
question
true.
really
That's
fast.
Go ahead.
I guess my question really is,
Drink.
what is it that you're trying to accomplish? I mean, you are a suspect in the case,
Mhm.
whether you know,
Yes.
law enforcement has said that. What is it like? So you're doing, I'm not saying you're doing rounds, but you're going on panels and stuff. Like, how is this going to help you? How is this going to help exonerate you?
It's not going to help exonerate me, but what it's doing is giving people my
And I want to tell you this, that Purple Hearts person said that Stacy's metadata or his location on his phone. I remember reading this comment and just going, oh my God, that it put him near the splash pad, but that he wasn't actually at the splash pad. And he admits that he was at the splash pad. Talk about a different angle. Talk about not reporting on all the things that are actually said. Talk about things that are factual, not things that are made up in your mind. He said that he was there. What business does he have going there? I could bring your comment up right now, and if you don't run over and delete it, and just you're not credible, I don't care. I really don't care. If you had something intellectual to say, then I would listen to it. But you're saying things that just aren't true, and I have no time for that. Not only would his cell phone put him there, and yeah, he's a known liar, but he's on CCTV.
side of the story because there's a lot of stories being told, but nobody's going to believe one person over the other. Reality is I'm still a suspect. And when it gets cleared by law enforcement, then people have a different view. But I want to personally tell people my side of the story because I feel that's what I'm destined to do.
And any of you turds that try and play this, I'll just strike you. I really will. I have no problem doing it.
Because I feel there's a lot of bullshit talk. There's a lot of crap talk about each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just honestly going out there because I know what happened that night. I know that I know the whereabouts where I was. I know the whereabouts where Sarah and Brandon were. I don't see that. That's why I'm doing this, because there's a lot of questions regarding this.
Yeah, but you don't have anything to offer as to where Michael is.
I don't. You're right, because I don't.
So what I'm saying is, like, and the point that, I mean, that should take 5 minutes to say.
He has taken a polygraph.
I did take a polygraph, and I was very well informed that I passed a polygraph by detectives, by the FBI, by my mom, who the detectives told. I was also told that Sarah and Brandon did not.
Have you told investigators anything that you haven't told the public? And if so, why? Yeah, and so now we know that's an absolute lie.
Not at all.
So your story that you're telling everybody is the exact same that you. have
Exactly.
told in the interrogations.
Exactly.
And to stop an interrogation, what you did, you said that Michael was in the yard. How does that, did that, so, and this is the way that I see it. And I don't know if this is the way it went, but it sounds though, when you listen to that body cam footage, when he's helping investigators, and I do believe that he did it in good faith to try and get, not out of the goodness of his heart, not out of some magnanimous gesture that, Stacy's a bleeding heart and it hurts his soul that Michael's missing and blah, blah, blah. I think that he wanted a deal. So I think that it wouldn't surprise me if these conversations hadn't been going on for quite some time. I don't know if they had or not, but it sounds as though there was a conversation had prior to the body cam footage. Okay. The body cam footage, like I said, it's not an actual confession. It's their admissions, and he's trying to help locate Michael. But like I said, it's not out of the goodness of his heart. And it's for him to get a deal. And he actually admits that here. Stop and interrogate. Did that actually stop it?
I haven't been interrogated since. I haven't heard from law enforcement. I haven't talked to law enforcement. I haven't even heard a peep from anybody.
So they dug up that entire yard, as we all saw. We watched them do it, based on just you saying that he was buried in the yard to stop it.
Correct.
So you tricked law enforcement into doing that?
I guess if you want to put it that way, yes.
Well, I mean, that's against the law. And I wasn't putting it some way. I mean, that's what he's insinuating, right? To us.
I mean, do you think?
So you could and probably should be charged with that. But and I'm not here to like trip you up. I don't think he's going to be charged for it, because I believe while watching that, he really believed that unfortunately that Michael was back there. And I think he thought that he was still. But then I think that they all started thinking, they go, you know what? Stacy's in jail. We don't trust Stacy. Stacy will do what's best for Stacy, nobody else. And he'll rat us out for a deal. You think that he doesn't mind doing 7 years in the pen? I mean, I don't know how much he's done the whole time. It's probably a lot. Or hang you or be mean to you or anything. But how is it that you can trick dogs into hitting on human decomp? You can't do that. You can trick the police, but you're not tricking dogs.
Oh, not at all. But
the dogs did hit, correct?
Apparently that's what
there were supposed to be multiple dogs.
So you told them that Michael was buried in the yard, and then, which you say is a lie, but then dogs hit on human decomp in that yard.
They hit before I told them that. That's why they questioned me.
So they hit before?
Correct.
So
but to prove my point that there was nothing back there, that's why I had them go dig it up. I knew there was nothing back there. I simply was very much
nothing. It was Michael.
So under pressure, I was being interrogated to the point of tears. I mean, for hours a day, for like 3 or 4 days. I
would have loved to see that, to be honest with you. I mean, I would. So if you hear here, he's saying that he was interrogated for days. Well, then they marched him in there looking like a pumpkin. And when he was about to crap himself, and he looked very comfortable, looked like he'd just woken up from hibernation, the way he was scratching his head, like, yeah, I was watching, I was like, oh my God. And he didn't look too forced there.
And honestly, I could not take it. It was killing me.
But I thought you said you gave them the tip.
I did give them the tip.
He gave them the tip. Then they interrogated him for days to the point of tears.
After they interrogated me.
Get him some milk. The dogs would have hit earlier. They would have just dug it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so obviously,
I mean, they wouldn't have known to search your house if they hadn't had it, if you hadn't given them the tip.
That's what I'm saying. I told them.
You told them, and then the dogs hit, correct?
No.
Because the dog, if they hit on
hit before That's at least what I'm being told. That's what law enforcement told me. That's what detective criminal.
They would dig it up though. They would have dug it up if dogs would have hit. Just not so they didn't. They dug it up because you said Michael was buried in the yard.
Correct.
But they took dogs out there first to confirm that there was human decomposition. Sorry to be graphic, but that's what they do. That's what those dogs are trained to do. And it wasn't just one, it wasn't just two. And not only did they hit there, they also hit, I believe, on the side of Brandon Shirtliff. Let me see if I can pronounce, or let me see if I can spell his name again. Shirtliff. Brandon Shirtliff. Hold on. I think I have a picture of him too for you just to make sure. Brandon, there he is right there. Brandon Shirtliff, Shurtliff, I think is how you spell Brandon Shirtliff's name, who also has, I believe he has an active warrant as well. So you might want to clear that one up too, Bubs. All right, moving on.
Okay, but
Then they bring the dogs out there to confirm that, hey, there is human there is they're hitting out here. So then they dig it up.
All I know is I told them that fable. That's what I told them. I don't know anything further than that.
Told them the fable. And you can see how that's going to be hard for people to understand.
I do, absolutely.
Because I mean that's a lot to tell. I mean, to get an interrogation to stop, all you would need to do is say, "Hey, I want to talk to my lawyer."
And I did that. My lawyer.
It looks like him, and it is him.
Was present with me.
Okay. I've got the clip where JD Huff.
It's really going to be interesting to see how all of this kind of shakes out, because I mean, there's going to be a lot of turning on each other. Yeah, a fable. I don't know what the hell that is. Fable.
We have multiple dogs hit, and we've got all of this based on evidence, it says.
And testimony. I mean, and that's what I'm really wondering is, because like you said, this is just what I think. I think that you plan on being indicted like everybody else that was up there on those poster boards. And you're trying to get ahead of this thing, kind of get your story out there, which I don't blame you, but it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. I know it is. Ding. But what you're going to do is so since there's 4 different people involved, what's going to end up happening is you guys are all going to start throwing each other under the bus. You're kind of Brandon was the first one. Ding. Then it's you because you're out of jail now. And Adrian eventually at trial or whatever is happening here. But what I'm saying is I don't understand why anybody would tell the police. Oh, I think Stacy has. God knows what Sarah said, that there's a kid buried in the yard to stop an interrogation. What good does that do? Did that help you in some way?
The probable cause,
because why you wouldn't tell him that unless he was actually buried in that yard.
He wasn't.
He wasn't when they went back, but he was at one point, according to the dogs.
But the problem is I was
out of control.
How is he not found? I mean, he obviously was in that yard at some point.
Laura, thank you for gifting the membership.
Dogs and everyone picked it up. Now, maybe you didn't have nothing to do with it, but somebody at that house did. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And who was it?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling my side, because I know for a fact, and per the posters and the pictures and everything that I posted, that I sent to Justin, like I had nothing to do with this boy's disappearance. I had no knowledge of him being buried. If he was buried, that's news to me. And what's weird about it is our neighborhood, like they have cameras that like from Sky Cam or whatever it is, that you can see into the backyard. There was no dig holes. My dog Oakley, it was a digger, but she dug right when you walked out the front patio where the dead spot is, where the barbecue was.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't exactly know what he said to Justin after this. I'm sure that he contacted Justin too. Oh, he was furious.
Now,
But he was dead because the barbecue we had 2 barbecues at the time, and one was sitting on the grass.
One
in
of the
this
things.
affidavit-
Oh, sorry,
sorry,
Justin.
go ahead, Josh.
Well, one of the things that the dog would do is when they're sniffing in the yard, not only would they do that, at any point, if he was in the house at all, if Michael was in your house, the dogs would hit at the front porch. Did they?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
I think they hit beside the front porch.
Oh, okay. So that would indicate that he was near the house. So Michael, I mean, let's just be honest here. Michael was around that house.
Huh?
Michael was around that house. The dogs aren't going to hit just for no reason unless you buried somebody else back there.
I don't know. I have no information to give to that. Like I told everybody and anybody on here, if I knew something about this, because I am in no way okay
Mm-hmm.
with abducting a child, killing him, burying him. I would bury somebody else for doing that to somebody like that.
Now,
Right.
the probable
I
cause
would be-
affidavit, it says that you spoke to them while you were not in custody about this.
I gave them permission
Okay, maybe that's what
to
that-
search the house when Sarah got arrested.
Mhm.
I didn't get arrested. She got arrested April 13th of 2022. I got arrested May 6th of 2022.
Okay. All right.
Do you expect to be indicted for this?
I was going to ask the
I mean,
If I am-
obviously you have an idea that you're probably, or else you wouldn't be doing this. I mean, let's just, I've seen
Doing
this
this
before.
to tell my side of the story. And if I'm indicted, they've got a long road ahead of them with going to trial.
Yeah, okay, we'll see about that. Well, I mean, not really. If you told him that he was in the yard, I mean, you're going to be charged with lying to investigators if that's what you did, and that's a serious crime too.
And if I am, I am. I own up to that.
This
take
is in
accountability.
October. Prosecutors on the investigation over Michael says, quote, I expect to charge it.
I mean, they put 4 posters up of people, and I'm not saying you don't have the right to defend yourself. You absolutely
You
do, and
absolutely
if you have
do.
nothing to do with this, all that should come out eventually. But I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I just don't. I can't get past like how you would just say, hey, yeah, he's in the yard.
I literally made that up.
And
There was
then
no-
dogs
there was
literally
nothing
hit
behind it?
on human decomposition.
Yeah, that's the problem is if you made it up and he was actually in the backyard I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Stacey?
I feel you, and I get that. But
I mean, that's a hell of a
I
coincidence.
gave them a direction. Okay, this is where I know that it was a lie, because that dog may have hit in the backyard, but the direction and area that I pointed to him, the dogs did not hit around at that house in the backyard. I told them he was literally buried directly across from the patio.
Mhm.
Well, who do you think did this?
I don't know.
Is
I
it
know
somebody- do you
I
think
know
it was somebody in
Adrian
the
has
house?
I know Adrian has, according to detectives and what I've been told by them, that Adrian has a huge history of human trafficking. So I wouldn't put
So that's actually not true, as much as I would like it to be. Well, actually, I wouldn't like it to be, because that means he would be trafficking humans. But that's not true. He doesn't actually have a criminal history of it. It's drug trafficking.
past him.
Oh.
But the matter of the fact is when and how he would get away with doing something like that, because I have no knowledge of any of this.
Okay. All right. Let me just play this. And this was
agree.
what they said. on
Everybody, I
that
just
day.
wanted to start out by saying thank you.
How could you defend this guy with even just say he had nothing to do with it, which I highly doubt. Like I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Blah blah blah. This isn't a court of law, and those rules don't apply here. I have no mechanism to throw the guy in jail, or I would. However, I mean, he's just playing games. I just don't know how anybody could take up for him.
Let me.
Investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland.
Can you pause that for a
As a
second?
result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search.
Why it says that they received credible information. So that's based on your tip alone. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was just checking. His tip alone, nobody else. His.
search warrant for the residence along
By the way, Sarah is saying he's the one that did everything.
with the front and backyard.
I will also tell you that the messages that I received from him, he indicated to me that that Adrian and Brandon were on the run, and that he's standing. I don't know where he is now, and I think he's in prison or jail, but he's like, I'm still in Idaho, and those two are running, which would indicate to me that he thinks that they're involved too.
Yards.
Why would he say that?
That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wondra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement.
What would the probable cause be?
Him. Right. The probable cause was him.
Following
He is the probable cause.
day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wondras home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property.
Listen to this.
All of them alerting to the presence of human remains.
All of them.
So that's where the problem,
Right.
that's where the story really starts to fall apart for you. Is you're saying that I made this up, but then you have multiple dogs. Every dog that was there hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is just no way that that's a coincidence. I'm sorry. There's just no way. There's no way. Nobody would buy that. They're not hitting. And that's what he tries to sell here. He tries to say, well, it's just a coincidence. I mean, it's just a coincidence that happened. I don't know how that happened, but I promise you, it's just a coincidence because I lied. Lying about lying is crazy work. Bring him. You're saying that I made this up, but then you have multiple dogs. Every dog that was there hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hitting. I mean, you can bring them to my backyard right now. I can make up a lie. They're not going to hit, and they're not going to dig up my yard. Well, I mean, there may be a skunk back there somewhere, but I think the last time a skunk died in my backyard, the lawn man threw it in the he threw it in my recycle bin, and the recycle bin's never been the same. I mean, you understand that.
Penetrating radar was also used.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. I was just wondering.
I just want to finish this little
And
bit.
deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation.
And that's where something has been dug and, the ground isn't as firm.
Of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that
based on evidence
that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing.
I mean,
Sarah
that's
wanted a baby, right?
she wanted a baby.
Sorry, did she
guys.
take Michael?
I have no idea.
I mean, she's your wife. You would have.
Yeah.
I felt bad. Sorry about that, Justin.
Sarah-
Some I did she.
Yeah.
I could. It's like I couldn't help myself.
No, I mean,
Sarah wanted a baby, right?
she wanted a baby.
Did she take Michael?
I have no idea.
I mean, she's your wife. You would have
Yeah,
some
Sarah
idea
was
if the
also
boy was.
very deceitful and hid everything from me.
I mean, that would be a hell of a. I mean,
She had the gun she held Tanner Butler up at gunpoint with.
Mhm.
I had no idea or any knowledge about the gun that she had. Because Randy Strickland, who was staying with us, asked her to not tell me about it
Randy.
because I was a felon.
Mm-hmm. Is that
And
what
he
you got in
trusted her
trouble
more
for?
than me. Huh? No,
Is that
I got
what
in
you?
trouble for having my own gun.
Right. Well,
I got in trouble for having my own gun.
the
Were
main
you
thing
offered
that-
a deal, like a cooperation deal?
They offered this before they dug the yard, and they said that
I mean, he got pieced up on this interview. That's why he was so mad about it.
they would give me a 15+7, but in the condition that I would tell them where the body is. And I said, I don't know where the body is.
Right. Currently, or you did in the past?
I have never known where the body is.
Did
So
listen
they
to that
wanted,
again. Is that
and
what
he
you got?
couldn't tell me about it because I was a felon.
Mm-hmm. Is that
And
what
he
you got in
trusted her
trouble
more
for?
than me. Huh? No,
Is that
I got
what
in
you?
trouble for having my own gun.
Right. Well, the
Were
main
you
thing
offered
that-
a deal, like a cooperation deal? Sorry again.
They offered this before they dug the yard, and they said that they would give me a 15+7, but in the condition that I would tell them where the body is. And I said, I don't know where the body is.
Currently, or you did in the past?
I have never known where the body is.
Kelsey, thank you for gifting 5 lab memberships. It's very kind of you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Somebody in the chat just said that Adrian was left with a duffel bag. You know anything about that?
No, never even knew that he had a duffel bag with him. He had a backpack.
So you unequivocally, absolutely never at any point in your life have seen Michael Vaughan. Never.
I don't even know who this kid was. And that's deep down honest to God with everything in my heart. I have no idea. I've never seen this kid. I didn't even know he existed. I didn't even know who Tyler and Brandy were.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, I've never seen that kid in my day in my life.
Okay, so Brandon had a duffel bag. Excuse me. What did Brandon what was Brandon doing with the duffel bag?
He had his clothes in it. Like, I watched him when we went to go tow the car. I watched him have an empty duffel bag. It was empty.
So the excuse is that they go to Kuna, I guess, where Brandon's mother lives. By the way, Brandon's mother did not. I don't know if currently if they're on better terms or not, but I know that at this time that Brandon's mother did not want him around the house. She was out of town. So it was, I'm sure the conversation, went like this in my head, at least. It's not a fact, but hey, my mom's out of town, Stacy and Sarah, we can go and tell everybody we towed my car back. And then I could do some laundry, even though we got a really good working laundry over here, Stacy's Lube and Wondra's Fluff.
And I watched him fill it with all of his clothes that he had at our house.
Was it your duffel bag?
No, it was his.
So you're not missing a duffel bag?
Not at all.
Okay.
What about underneath the house?
There
The
was
crawl
a crawl space, but that crawl space literally it was in the walk-in closet from our bathroom
Right.
that literally had an empty Savage Arms old box from an old 17 that I had.
Like, those neighbors, and I hope you're not one of those neighbors. Those neighbors that just park like 1,000 cars in their driveway.
Okay.
They're all pieces of crap. Did a dog hit at Brandon's house? Yes. Oh. Did a dog hit at Brandon's house?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't confirm that because I've been told things through lives, like doing YouTube lives, but I've never heard anything from the police. No.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any further questions, like Eve, that does the,
We don't know who
she
that
has
is.
everything. It was about 11 o'clock. They left.
Mhm.
No.
Because the dog,
But the direction and area
Hurried and later
where the dogs hit, they said they hit in the backyard. Crimin was also at the Meridian Highway Patrol knowledge of it,
well,
which is Asperger's. By
currently, or
watched him that does the same thing you guys do, and she just
I
wanted.
just don't understand why you would lie to the feds about saying that there's a body in the backyard.
You
And
have
then,
to understand it coming from my point of view and my mental disability that I suffer with, like not as an excuse, but
what's your mental
legit-
disability?
I have fetal alcohol syndrome. I have Asperger's. I have autism, which is Asperger's. I have bipolar, intermittent explosive disorder. Now, mind you, 98% of those I've overcome being in
Welcome,
group
wood
homes
chipper.
my whole
Thank you.
life. But people that have fetal alcohol syndrome, it is very common that people get put in very pressured situations
and
and the instant reaction just to give something to get them to back off.
and you're right, but the problem is what you told them is what they have evidence that there was someone in the backyard.
Okay, but they did not specify where the dogs hit. They said they hit in the backyard. I told them where it made up again, where he was buried, which was directly across when you walk out the back patio door. It was directly straight across, right in the middle of the fence, in the middle of the yard. They didn't specify where he was hit. They said that
I mean, he says that he has fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know if he does or not. Look, I'll take him at his word for once. That doesn't take away anything that he's ever done, said, the way that he's acted. There's a lot of people that have fetal alcohol syndrome. And you know, I'm sympathetic to that, but I am not sympathetic to people with fetal alcohol syndrome that use it as an excuse to pretend that they're like, you know, Powder or Rain Man or something, and think that, you know, it just came to my head and came to fruition.
they dug by the shed, and that the dogs had to hit around the shed area. That's what I've been told. I know, and if you read their report, or you probably can pull it up, she literally, I don't know if it's accessible or not,
It's
but
not.
I know for a fact that when I gave them that location, they literally, I watched it on video when they were digging at that spot. Detective was on the phone with me.
Mm-hmm.
They dug nothing up. The dogs did not hit in that spot. I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that he was in the yard.
I said he was in that direct spot, but he was never there. Clearly,
He was in that yard somewhere at one point.
somewhere, probably, I don't know.
He
I have
probably
nothing.
was.
I don't have knowledge of it.
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
said,
you
I have
didn't
never-
pull that out of thin air. Maybe
Yes, I
Adrian
did.
told you, maybe
Yes, I
Sarah
did.
told you, maybe Brandon
No.
told you.
But this is exactly why it's hard for me to do these lies, because people are gonna try to judge me and say that I literally didn't. I had something to do with it. My question to you is why, when they did a polygraph test and I answered every question they asked me about Michael's disappearance, why on earth would I pass that polygraph?
Well,
You
to be
don't just get a false positive on a polygraph.
Do you know how many people have, you know, that's why polygraphs, like, honestly, I don't care about polygraphs, but every suspect that is suspected in a case all say that they passed their polygraphs with, well, not all, but most with zero factual evidence.
well, but the thing is,
But it doesn't matter.
I'm going to throw something back at you after you know, if you are taking heavy medications and
I haven't taken any medication.
and you have these
I haven't taken
disorders,
medication for years.
Well, do you have proof that you passed a polygraph?
You can probably get it in the affidavit
Because I
somewhere.
mean, you can't. It wouldn't be in the affidavit.
I
Use it in
can
a
tell
court of
you
law
that
anyway.
3 people,
And I can guarantee you that because if I was Stacy and I had passed a polygraph test, not once again, not that makes you innocent of anything or guilty of anything, I would definitely be shoving it in people's faces as far as I could reach my arm out. I'd be like, "You see this right here?" But no, of course I'd be like, "Can I get a copy of that? Can you email it to me? Maybe I could scan it, laminate it, wear it around my neck or something, anything."
3 people talked to me
No,
about my
of
polygraph,
course not.
including the guy that did the polygraph in the Meridian Police Department, the Highway Patrol. The guy that did the polygraph told me, he asked, "How do you feel you did?" And I said, "I was honest about everything." He goes, "You're right, you did." And then later on,
That's awful.
I talked to the detectives. They also verified. Scott Crimmin was also at the Meridian Highway Patrol during my testing. He also said that I passed my.
Polygraphs are nothing more than a tool used to direct an investigation. If investigators think that they're not, somebody's not being truthful, they may focus in on them a little more, but they can't say at trial, "Well, he did fail a polygraph test or he passed one." None of that matters.
Polygraph.
Did
Anita.
Sarah pass?
I used to think that they mattered a long time ago, and the more things that I've covered and listened to and watched, they're as useless. I mean, they're as useless to the public. I mean, but cops do use them. I mean, I don't think that they're like wrong all the time or anything like that. I do think people can get over on them, but I just think that it's more so your baseline that they're looking at, not if the thing tells you, if you lied or didn't lie. It doesn't go, "That's a lie." It doesn't really say that.
No, according to what I'm being told, no. I don't have confirmation. I'm hearing that from my mom and what the detectives told my mom because Sarah was married to me.
So here's a common occurrence in these kinds of cases is that people want to give information, but they don't want to implicate themselves. They want to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Sarah not passing, but you passing. 3 other people may know what have happened, but I don't know what happened. And then you see what I'm saying, and you see where I'm going with it. I'm not trying to be rude and trip you up here. I'm just saying when Candace Wells was asked if she passed a polygraph test, she went, "Well, there was some blah, 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 but like, I think she said maybe on the 3rd one that she passed, but, and then Don says that he passed, but nobody's ever presented proof of that." And that's why I said it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters to the cops, because they're like, "Well, we don't think you're being truthful," but that does nothing to further the investigation. It's not like they can go, "Well, we need to present this at court." That's not how that works. I mean, you pulling that out of thin air is almost impossible.
And it's not impossible for me.
I said almost impossible.
Okay, and I believe that.
And I'd move it up to impossible now. I said at the time almost impossible. It's impossible.
Okay, almost impossible. Not
Trip you up here. I'm just saying, have happened, but I don't know what happened. And then you see what I'm saying, and you see where I'm going with it. I'm not trying to be rude and trip you up here. I'm just saying you pulling that out of thin air is almost impossible.
And it's not impossible for me.
I don't know. I said almost impossible. It's a good
Okay,
question.
and I believe that. Okay, almost impossible, yeah. But for me, it wasn't impossible. If you literally sat there, you would see how literally, like, how on the verge of tears I was because I'm being interrogated so hard.
So the experts that were out there and digging up the yard, the police, Chief Huff, they believe fully that Michael was in that backyard. They believe that 100%. They said it in their press conference. They absolutely they don't think that he was lying about that. They just think that that this tour that he's doing is a lie.
Hard and so rough. And I told them the same exact thing the very first 4 interviews before the last one, before when I told him about where he was in the backyard. I told him the same exact thing that I've told everybody else. I have never met this kid a day in my life. I've never seen him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him disappearing, any of that.
What's up,
Do you know
man?
what
How
day
are
they
you?
gave you the polygraph one?
What, David?
Do you know what day they
What
gave you the
day?
polygraph?
It was May 18th, I believe. It was literally the day that I got my case dropped for felon in possession out of state when the feds picked it up.
Okay, so while you so you're basically lying to them while you're on the phone with them while they're digging up the backyard,
Yeah.
is what you're saying. Now, see, the thing about the day is like you're
Yeah, that bothered me about the two, and I think at some point I do to say that.
saying that you and Sarah and Brandon went to
CUNA.
Now, the thing with Brandon's story, which he's saying that him and Stacy got home and they went to the gas station.
Him and
I mean, it's like,
Sarah?
Or Sarah, sorry, him and Sarah
No.
went
They
to
never
the
went to
gas
the
station at
station.
7:00,
appreciate you.
No.
and it's like somebody's lying here. Somebody's lying, and it's
They never went to the gas station. We left in our truck to go tow his car upon his request.
Mhm.
I have
Why did
no
you stop? Why
reason
did you
to
stop
lie.
at 8th in Arizona again? I'm just curious about
To
that.
put
Why-
power steering fluid in the truck.
So he stopped at 8th in Arizona to put power steering fluid in the truck.
And it
what time
wasn't
was that?
directly on Arizona Street. It was probably about 50, 60, maybe 70 feet, 80, maybe 100 feet behind Arizona, like before Arizona Street. Literally right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled.
And if you don't think that the stuff that he's saying right here will be put up against his interrogation, I'm not saying this specifically, but he said a lot of this stuff to a lot of different people, and whatever they choose to use in court. But if you don't think that they'll use this kind of stuff in court, they absolutely will.
Hold on.
Was Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, and I kind of wonder why, Stacy almost never went. It seemed, according to Brandon, that Stacy never went anywhere with them. And so he just decided to go to Kuna with him that night. I mean, okay. Just about the time that Michael goes missing. You understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. I've told everything. I've told everything.
Look, let me play that again. Just about
behind Arizona, like before Arizona Street. Literally right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled off.
Was Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, just about the time that Michael goes missing, you understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. I've told everything. I've told everything.
Look, I've asked everything that I know some people are saying, "Oh, Josh, you're being mean." I don't think I am. I'm just asking questions. And I'll let you finish up, Justin.
No, I don't think you're being mean. And I mean, I think we're trying to find out what's going on here, and that's the thing. There's 4 different people saying 4 different things. What time were you on 8th and with the power steering fluid?
I don't have an exact time. Like I said, it's probably.
But the problem is, like, why do you need to stop right then and put power steering fluid in?
Because when Sarah made the left turn, the whining on the truck, when you have low on power steering fluid and your power steering is low on fluid, it will cause an extensive whine. And it literally sprays everywhere.
Brandon
So we
is
literally knew we were making the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we had stopped literally just for the sole purpose of putting power steering fluid in. I had got out in the passenger side of the truck. Sarah popped the hood. I opened the hood, opened power steering reservoir, poured power steering fluid in, closed the cap on the power steering fluid, walked back around to the passenger side truck, and we left.
Are you guys on CCTV anywhere?
Yeah, they have that picture as well. They have that.
They have what?
They have the picture of us stopping on 8th Street. They have the video. It was CCTV. That was also recorded. They showed that to me.
But has anybody known that? Is this the first time you're telling that?
Nobody's asked me about it, but I told them everything.
Oh, I didn't. I was just wondering if you were on CCTV at all that day, but they have you on CCTV on 8th in Arizona.
Yes, correct.
With Brandon in the car.
Correct. And Sarah.
Oof. I mean,
And
that's a major problem, right? That is a major problem.
Hey, hold on. You saw a boy that day as well, didn't you? You said
Yes.
you saw a boy.
Listen again. That's the first time you're telling that?
Picture of us stopping on 8th Street. They have the video. It was CCTV. That was also recorded. They showed that to me.
But has anybody known that? Is this the first time you're telling that?
Nobody's asked me about it, but I told them everything.
Oh, I didn't. I was just wondering if you were on CCTV at all that day, but they have you on CCTV on 8th in Arizona.
Yes, correct.
With Brandon in the car.
Correct. And Sarah.
Oof. I mean,
And
that's a major problem, right?
That day. Hold on. You saw a boy that day as well, didn't you? You said
Yes.
you saw a boy.
Further down 8th Street on the very right-hand side in somebody's yard. And he didn't look anything like Michael at any point in time.
Okay.
We didn't ever even approach the kid.
Did the boy you saw have a yellow shirt on?
It was a bright shirt, correct. From what I remember, it was shorts and a bright shirt. And he was a lot taller than the 5-year-old boy. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
So who put the power steering fluid in?
I did.
So you're on video getting out. Of the truck.
Correct.
And is Stacy with you at this time? I mean, Sarah?
Sarah? Yeah, she's driving the truck. She was in the driver's seat the whole time. Brandon was in the back seat the whole time. I was the only one to get out of the truck, as it's on video.
Yeah, right. Thank you for your $4.99 super stick. I appreciate it. And it's good to see you. And I know that you watch a lot from the bushes, and I appreciate seeing you when you're here. Thank you.
And recording. And
Miss Kirby, thank you so much for your $49.99 super sticker. That's very generous as well. Thank you for the support. And I know that this case means a lot to you as well. It's very kind of you. Thank you.
They
showed it to you?
Yes.
Let's see. Hold on. What's she say? Josh, buy your puppet toy for me, Otis and Brandy. I hope they get closer to finding out what happened to Michael. Still praying for him every day. Take care. I have to get rest because what did you say? You have a busy day today. I'm going to make time to come in one of your lives. It's for you, Justin. Watch your replay. If nobody sees them, telling him that I love him and I'll see him soon. That's very kind of you. I will. Otis and Macho are big fans of those like Y bones. They love those things.
Okay.
Where's the question?
When is the next time you put power?
Hold on. What did Brandy say? I can tell you right now, it is, let's see, January 21st, 2024. So, a year and 10 days to the date. That's what I'm seeing here. There it is right there. January 21st.
Steering fluid in that day, you know?
I didn't have to put it until the next day.
Okay.
I usually had to fill up the truck once a day with power steering fluid.
Was that the only place that you're on CCTV?
No, I was on CCTV at the splash pad.
Yes, he was at the splash pad at. I've got
Is
so
it
many
was
notes
that
here.
is that common? Was that common? I'm sorry, I didn't know if that's common knowledge or not.
No, that's proof. I saw proof from the detectives. They showed me the video.
You knew that, Justin? You knew that he was on video?
Yep, he's on video there at the splash pad getting out of his truck. He says
Car.
Okay, whatever. Car, truck, train, I don't care. Unicycle, bull, whatever it is you rode there. But the see, this is why people like that Purple Heart lady, and I don't mean to rag on you and be mean to you, but you're obviously not keeping up with the details here. I mean, he's admitting it. He freaking admits to being there
car
at the splash pad. For what? For what?
rather getting his snuff.
Correct.
Snuff. What is this? 1943? Okay, so yeah, I heard that. So what happened was snuff. Is that you
Like
dropped
that.
dropped your. My great grandma used to do snuff. Chew, you got out, you
Yep.
got it at the splash pad. Okay,
Yep.
she'd actually snort it up her nose. I didn't know that was a thing. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you answering my questions. I know they come off fast, and that's just how I think and talk. So, but if you don't have any kids and you're at the splash pad, not actively under one of the waterfalls or whatever it is, because it's hot or whatever. I mean, if you're not out there, like, first of all, you shouldn't be out there anyway. But oh, my shoe fell down. How far did you live from there? You couldn't wait. You'd think that this guy's can of chew fell on the side and he was like, well, I got to stop right here. I've dropped my inhaler and all the way home going, I'm not getting out.
It's okay, man. Like I said, I'm just here literally to tell my side of things. Because if there's one person that's going to tell the truth, it's me.
I forgot he said that hit me.
I remember verbatim. I have timestamps that were pulled up on the maps that Justin can show you because if there's one person, I'm just here literally to tell my side of things.
Yeah.
Because if there's one person that's going to tell the truth, it's me. I remember verbatim. I have timestamps that were pulled up on the maps that Justin can show you if you want to see them.
Still waiting to see those, Justin.
I'll
Or I
send
can
it to you,
send them
John.
to you directly.
I'm just kidding. I think you did send them to me. I deleted them.
But I
Like,
would
I
like those.
have-
I would like a screen recording of that, just so that little.
I don't know how to screen record on my phone. I have no idea how to do that. 100% honest. I just got this phone, so
I'll teach you.
So did you guys go to Brandon's house that day?
correct.
And
At
then,
night.
oh, it's very kind of you. So here's another problem. If the dogs hit in the yard at your house, you guys are headed over to Brandon's, and the
Right.
dogs hit there too. I mean, obviously, there's a body that's being transported back and forth, and they're assuming that it's Michael. That's why you guys are suspects, right?
So to be, yes.
So to be, I think he meant so it seems. But what I meant by that was, all of this fits in the time frame of Michael going missing. They're hightailing it out of town while everybody else is on high alert looking for kids. Brandon's like, let's go get my piece of shit car and I could go do laundry. We run in taxi service and Stacy will do my lube later. And when you get the car back, and then he's like chugging a beer and like, Stacy, your shoe's right here. You better find it at the splash pad. You better find it there. Idiot. Yes. Right.
But like I said,
But once again, you have abracadabra dogs hitting his house and then 30 minutes away at Brando's house. How?
have.
Is it possible that he was they covered this up with you being in the truck, that Michael was with them
Not
and
at
you
all.
didn't know about it?
Not at all. Because
He won't put himself there.
the only thing that got put in the truck, we all walked out together. The only thing that Brandon
We all held hands.
had in his hand was a duffel bag full of his clothes. I watched him fill his duffel bag up with clothes. It was empty, keep in mind.
You know, it's funny too, because somebody said, well, maybe he took the laundry over there, because, he was just going there. He might as well do a load of laundry. But he didn't stay for the laundry. They left. And then he came back the next day for the laundry. Who does that? Nobody.
Watched him fill the duffel bag up, watched him put it in the truck. We all walked out together. The only thing that Sarah had in her hand was her purse.
Yeah.
And a grocery bag that had 2 or 3 Diet Pepsis in it.
Diet Pepsi suck. It's all about Diet Coke.
Was Sarah, she was seen carrying a kid? Was she ever?
No.
Yeah, right. And so
And
that's what you told police, though? That's
Yes.
You're telling the same thing. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
There's nothing that I have said on my lives that I have not told the detectives, just so everybody's aware.
Yeah, and I just don't I don't know how. Look, I don't care what you do. You can talk, do whatever you want. But I mean, so the duffel bag was filled up with clothes. He had that many clothes.
He literally had a stack of clothes, a pile of clothes. And it wasn't a huge duffel bag, keep in mind. It was literally a medium duffel bag.
If I hear the word literally one more time, I'm literally going to freak out.
It's all it takes is a medium duffel bag, though, to be honest with you. I mean, I used to work in a funeral home, so I know
I know. And I'm telling you, I'm verifying on Brandon's behalf. I was a witness to him filling up his duffel bag when it was completely empty the whole time I was in the living room when he was doing this.
Yeah.
He didn't have a bedroom.
The hot mess coming in hot here saying you can go right to the internet, see the locations of the CCTVs in any area in the United States. Go see for yourself, everyone. He is a liar and a fat mouth.
Thing is, he slept in the living room on the couch all the time. I have pictures of him sleeping on the couch with my dog.
Did dogs ever hit on that truck?
No, not at all.
How did they search that truck?
Yes.
Or did you sell that truck?
Do they still have your?
Wait a minute. So Justin, I apologize. Listening back, I know I talked over you a couple times. I really wanted him to answer this question. He lied about it. I'm pretty positive. Wait, Justin.
I have pictures of him sleeping on the couch with my dog.
Did dogs ever hit on that truck?
No, not at all.
How did they search that truck?
Yes.
Or did you sell that truck?
Do they still have your?
Wait a minute. Wait, Justin. Did you sell the truck?
No, the truck was repoed.
How long after Michael went missing?
It was July. I don't know. It was like August 2nd or something like that.
So that was just a couple of days.
August 3rd, but it was repoed, and the detectives went and picked up the truck for evidence.
Okay.
How did it make Stacy feel to find out his lie was proven true when law enforcement started excavating?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I regret lying to him, but at the same point, I don't have any information for this little boy. I want to get whoever it is that did this in trouble. All
right. So I've seen Adrian write that. I've heard Brandon say that. And now Stacy says it. All of them want justice.
Want this little boy to come home to his mom and dad. 1,000,000%, time and time over.
Oh, he's going.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't get up in tears. I don't get up wishing that this little boy would be found for his family.
Yeah, right. You didn't have a washing machine at your house?
We had a washing machine at our house, correct.
So why did you go to his mom's house?
Brandon just said that he needed to go to his house anyways to get new clothes.
But that
so he was just going to do his. You're right, it doesn't, but that's what Brandon said.
So what it sounds like, just personally to me, is if you're putting the pieces together and he's got a duffel bag, dogs hit at your house, dogs hit at his house. It sounds like he used that duffel bag for something else.
I'm personally telling you and everybody on here, like I said just a couple minutes ago, I watched him put everything from an empty duffel bag, like the duffel bag was empty. There was nothing in it at the start. Nothing.
So he didn't take any clothes out of there? There wasn't a pile of clothes at the house, or he didn't swap stuff out?
That's what I'm saying. No, you're just missing what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay.
When he first came staying with us, he emptied the duffel bag. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When he loaded the duffel bag, it was again empty. There was nothing.
Where did he put his clothes? Do you have a dresser
on the side of the couch? On the side of the couch.
Instead of leaving them in the bag.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, he must have been in jail way too long.
He's done a few jail times. Correct.
So he took clothes from your house that you had a perfectly good washer and dryer from, and drove it 30 minutes away to use his mom's washer.
Correct. Why? I don't know. But we also were at a point with Brandon where we were just like, want to argue with him. Brandon was unreasonable a lot with us.
Yeah.
He owed us so much fucking money. I mean, for everything we've helped him pay his phone bill multiple times, helped him with his car insurance when he had his car up and running.
And did law enforcement, do they have this bag?
Nice of them, huh?
I don't know. I, again, have not talked to the detective since November of 2022.
Has anybody threatened you that's a part of this?
I mean, I received multiple things on Messenger, but I don't even respond to them.
Well, I'm talking about from like Adrian or Brandon.
Oh no, I
haven't
talked to Adrian. I haven't heard from Brandon. I haven't heard. Sarah called me a couple times, trying to get me to stay with her, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Do you suspect her?
I have never seen. I would never think that Sarah would have something to do or do something like that. No.
Well, that's a lot of people though. That
Yeah, I mean, but it's his wife. I mean, I get that. No, you don't want that, but so.
Trust me, I have no reason to throw Sarah. I have no reason not to throw Sarah under the bus. I would throw her.
Yeah, you kind of do. You kind of do, because if you have any knowledge at all, it's
that's what I'm saying. If I had any knowledge at all, I would have been the first person with no hesitation to let law enforcement know about any information I knew about him.
Right.
Like I told that in every video, I told the cops that. I said, look, any information, if I had any knowledge, forehand knowledge, I would have been the first to tell you guys. Anything I knew. I was honest with them, just like I'm being honest here. I told them the same exact thing.
All right, so I'm
telling everybody on my lives. There's not one thing that has changed.
I don't know how much we have here.
Washer and went back there somehow to log into. My point is this. I'm the one that's provided timestamps of that night in question. Mm-hmm. Where's Brandon's timestamps?
Yeah, Brandon,
he's
where's
very
your
capable
bitch?
of finding some way or somehow to log into his old emails.
I hate that
to
guy.
Find pictures of videos that were timestamped that night.
But if you're saying he was with you,
correct,
the entire time,
correct.
You're telling them
Brandon,
that there's a child's remains in the backyard, but you say there's a duffel bag. Immediately, you have a perfectly good washer machine at the house, and then you said he didn't bring the duffel bag home back that night.
He did bring it back home. I said that.
No.
Yes, I did. I said he took his duffel bag, put his clothes in the washer, and he got a new change of clothes. I said that.
So he put them back in the bag wet?
No, he got a new set of his clothes. He has like a fucking wardrobe.
Right.
He got new clothes. He left the old.
All right, so he brought the duffel bag back with other clothes in it. and left and started washing the dirty ones while his mom was out of town, where he wasn't even supposed to be at her house.
Clothes in the washer,
Okay, I mean, I don't even want to unravel it all the way.
and went back the next day with Sarah to his house to go put his clothes in the dryer.
That makes a lot of sense.
He brought his duffel bag back home with new clothes in it.
So what time did he go back the next day with Sarah?
I would say mid-morning.
Probably pretty early.
Morning. Okay. Do you know how long he was there?
I mean, they came back within a couple hours.
And where was Adrian?
He had came back to the house that early that morning. He was at the house that morning.
Okay. And nobody knows where the duffel bag is?
And apparently it's at Brandon's house. I'm just speculating. I don't know.
It's a funny question because he's in I believe this is like a homeless shelter, and they have like a turnout time, I guess.
I haven't talked to the detectives since my interview with them in November. Have had no police contact, have nobody contact me from the police department, nothing.
It's somewhere around there.
That's
between
honest.
30,
I
40 minutes.
I don't have
40 minutes
communication with
maybe.
cops.
Did do you know if they checked? I'm sure.
You know
that
what's
they
interesting about this live is, now that everybody's seen the body cam footage, and heard him talk in other interviews. I mean, you can give a lot more context to the lies that he said that day.
Did they checked Brandon's mom and dad's washing machine?
Yeah. I'm sure they did. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure they did the whole house search.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, do they really think there was a body in Brandon's backyard? If the dogs hit, why the fuck aren't they tearing up her backyard?
Whoa.
Makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff that's being said about abracadabra dogs hitting on Brandon's backyard and my yard, maybe they said in my yard, but
I've never heard of abracadabra dogs. Abracadabra dogs?
why would they dig up my yard and say that the cadabra dog's hitting his yard,
Well,
but not
because you
dig up
told
his
him,
yard?
Stacy. You told him that there was a body.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. So Justin is just, good cop, bad cop. You could call it that. Justin doesn't believe in the bullshit and tells him.
I did, which was a lie. But if they so-called said, this is my point I'm trying to make. If they said that there was cadabra dogs hit in the backyard of his mom's house,
Cadabra dogs.
why aren't they digging up the backyard at his mom's house? That's, again, speculation. There's no documentation from the police, to my knowledge, saying that the cadabra dogs hit on his backyard. I haven't seen anything, nor have I heard anything other than hearing it from.
Yes, that's like he wasn't kidding. He thinks they're called either cadabra dogs or abracadabra dogs. I mean, he'd probably say, "Yeah, well, I have a learning disability," or I don't know, I'm just abracadabra dogs.
The media.
Yeah, he's called them abracadabra dogs more than once. I think so. Yeah, I think he was part of it. Yes, there's your answer. Okay.
From
Whoa.
what's being
Calm
said
down.
from on YouTube videos and talking to Brooks.
You don't want to watch the show? Go. I don't know, dude.
Again, that is, to my knowledge, is just speculation.
You tell me. You heard what he said.
Because until I see concrete evidence that the cadabra dogs hit on his backyard,
The cadabra.
because
dog.
I'm telling you, if they hit on his backyard, it would have dug his backyard up too.
Well, I don't know if they hit on his backyard. They
said
say
that
crawl space,
the crawl space was at our house.
That was their house.
and the dog hit there too.
No, the dog never hit on the crawl space. Dog
Okay.
never hit inside the house.
Gotcha.
That's just my point I'm trying to make. Like, there's lots of speculation and there's lots of There's apparently the police have evidence. I don't know what's true. I know that I had no part of this. I know that I don't even know who this kid is. I've never heard of this kid a day in my life.
His name's Michael.
I know
Vaughan.
his name now.
I felt like that was important to interrupt him. For some reason, it just felt to me incredibly rude to continue that conversation that way when, you know, he just kept saying, this kid is somebody's child. This kid is somebody's baby. Michael is somebody's baby. Michael's somebody's child. Michael's a real person. Michael has united a lot of people. And Michael has Michael's case will do wonders for the world for years to come. And it very much annoyed me that he would do this.
But I'm saying I know that what's true. I know that I had no part of this. I know that I don't even know who this kid is. I've never heard of this kid a day in my life.
His name's Michael.
I know
Vaughan.
his name now, but I'm saying I don't know this person from Adam. I've never heard of this kid. When he went missing, I was like, who the fuck is he? Other than
Michael.
Yeah, I know. Who the fuck is Michael? Like, I know that now, but I
it's just disrespectful to talk about. Boy,
didn't know it. I lived in the neighborhood for 2 years, never heard a peep about Tyler and Brandy or their kids. I didn't even know.
Which, I mean, and we're talking about people that had Michael's missing flyer on their refrigerator. Yeah.
Never did a tax form, never took their kids anywhere, and never even, I was oblivious. Like,
and these are just rumors that you may or may not have said, but leaning more towards may, that you saw Sarah with Michael.
no, not at all.
Never.
That's not coming from me. And I heard that too, but I heard it from a friend who follows the YouTube channels.
Oh, so you've heard the rumor?
I've heard the rumor too, and that's not true at all. I've never once. The only child that Sarah and I have ever babysat was my tattoo artist Ian Sturgeon's daughter when she came to visit from Wyoming. And Ian asked us to babysit her because, and she's 11, but she liked to come and hang out.
Clucking around, says Josh, let me make this crystal clear. It's not in my metabolism to be pervy to abracadabra dogs. I mean, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4-peat of 4 different cases wrapped into one. Crystal, well, wait a minute. Maybe it's 3. Maybe it's the triple crown. Crystal clear, Sebastian Rogers' case. Motabolism, Summerwell's case. Pervy, back to Sebastian's case. Abracadabra dogs, Michael Vaughan's case.
In our house, because Sarah would do crochet things with her, would teach her how to crochet, would teach her how to, would bake with her, bake cakes with her and stuff like that. So she enjoyed hanging out, and I enjoyed her company. Her name was Lexi.
Oh, great. Why would can you just tell me about that? Why would that be a rumor? Why would somebody
I don't know. I have no answer to that. That makes no sense at all, because Sarah has never, to my knowledge, I mean, when Sarah and I have been together, we were like Bonnie, like not Bonnie and Clyde, but we were like together 98% of the time.
And didn't you have Michael's poster on your fridge?
Yes.
She had Michael's poster on the fridge.
But it's your house too, so you never
Correct.
saw that photo?
Correct, but that flyer was put up when it was given to us.
So? And look, one chubster to another. You telling me that you don't spend any time in front of the refrigerator? I mean, come on, dude. Come on. Well, to be fair though, it's usually swung open. Come on, dude. You just don't look at anything.
Passing them out.
Who gave it to you?
I don't remember. Somebody passing out flyers. I just know it was literally given to us. I had Michael's profile picture, his picture of that was on that post picture on Facebook for the longest time, and I've already cleared that up with law enforcement. And it was literally to show support of the missing boy Michael. Like everybody was doing. Everybody had a profile pic of Michael that lived around that neighborhood.
Wait. Callie Dime says he had Michael as his profile picture on his Facebook account. Did he really? I didn't know that. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me, but the depths of their depravity it show no bounds.
Close friends, or they had the blue light thing going.
What the? Oh,
like literally, we didn't do the blue light thing, but we supported him by posting his picture on my Facebook page and her doing YouTube or TikTok videos.
Like I knew that he was on there, but I didn't know it's a profile picture.
With his profile, that missing boy picture in the background of the TikToks.
So, after you get home from your trips and running and all that, what did you guys do before you guys left?
Is that a homeless shelter?
To do the towing?
I'm not making fun of homeless shelters because I think they're a great thing, but I am making fun of him. They turned the lights out on him.
We just stayed on the. Like I said, we're at home. I think Sarah made a quick bite to eat, and we literally just chilled until we left. We made a plan. We got ready to go do the tow. I got the tow strap. Brandon watched Brandon pack his bag full of clothes, and we left.
Okay.
And are on CCTV 2 different times.
Correct.
Around the same time, people were looking for Michael.
Correct.
The interesting thing is Brandon says at 7:00, him and Sarah were at the gas station.
No. Look at the timestamps that I sent you.
Did they get milk at any time that day?
No.
So he's flat out lying.
You say milk?
Absolutely no. Milk. Yes.
I saw you drinking milk the other year. Are you a milk drinker?
I love drinking milk.
Is that an Idaho thing?
No, it's just a me thing. I would go through a gallon of milk in about 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
I love milk, dude. It's my favorite fucking thing to drink in the world.
Milk.
I don't like soda. I like tea. But I'll choose milk over tea any day.
I like tea. Really? Wow.
Like
I've never known anybody to chug milk.
I piss people off because I'll go to their house and they'll have a gallon of milk, like a full gallon.
Yeah.
And they'll go check their fridge like the next day or whatever, and it's gone.
So he steals milk from people too.
I can't tell you how many times I pissed off my tattoo artist.
You drank his milk?
Oh yeah.
I was truly baffled by that.
He would piss and it's gone. I can't tell you how many times I pissed off my tattoo artist.
You drank his milk?
Oh yeah. He was pissed. I ended up having to send him money to replace it because he's like, dude, he drank my whole gallon of milk. I'm like, sorry, dude, I just love milk.
It's ridiculous.
But
I like milk too, but not that much.
Oh no, I love milk. I drink milk all day, any day if I could. Not even joking.
Sick.
He previously said the duffel bag was empty. Now he said it's packed with clothes.
Yes, it was empty when he brought it to the couch and put all of his dirty clothes inside the duffel bag. Correct. That's to clarify, but yeah, that's what it was. It was empty at the start. He brought his duffel bag onto the couch and loaded all of his dirty clothes into it.
Did Brandon stay with you that night?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he stay with you the next night?
Yes. He lived with us pretty much. We pretty much took care of him, babysat him in a sense, if you mind.
But didn't he have a house?
If you mind. I think it's if you will.
He wasn't allowed to stay at his house without his mom there. His mom was in Arizona, I believe, at the time.
So he's there that night. So during that day, you were never away from Sarah or Brandon or Adrian, for that matter, long enough for them to possibly
Not at all.
take Michael.
Not at all.
So you guys were all together that day.
Yes. Adrian stayed overnight in Boise or Nampa when the day they went to when they took him to go see his kid on the 27th.
And you say
So-
that he has been in. Did you say he's been in trouble for sex trafficking?
Human trafficking, correct.
He's been charged with that before?
Yes.
But that's not true. He's been charged with drug trafficking.
I learned that from the detectives Anita and Scott Kremen.
I mean, that's just another layer that just tells you,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's
Well,
having a
here's the thing. Like, I didn't know his history at all. I had to learn that from the detectives, and I didn't learn that until after I got incarcerated, just to clarify. This is not something that I knew beforehand at all. They came and told me about him. I learned that Dorothy was a sex offender who's Carson's ex-wife.
Oh my God. So Sarah did not have Michael Vaughan.
No,
Never once.
not at all. Never
This
during
is what
that.
drinking gallons of milk gets you. So Sarah did not have Michael Vaughan.
No,
Never once.
not at all. Never during that day. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm not, I would, and if I knew something, like I said, I would not cover for her. I don't give a fuck if she's my wife or not.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in time would I ever be okay with finding knowledge about this or knowing anything about an abduction or somebody taking a child ever.
Appreciate
So,
it. Thank you for that.
This is.
thank you
I
for
just
your
thought of something.
$2 super chat. I don't know
What
what
time
he
did you guys leave? You said,
I think it was like 6 or 6:30.
I don't know what it
and
was.
you guys didn't get back till 10:20.
Correct. You know, keep in mind, the reason it took so long is because we had to take the back roads. Keep in mind, we also snapped the toe strap. So I had to
You ha-
get out
Why did
and
you
type
have
it
to take the
over.
back roads?
because you can't drive on the interstate with a tow strap and a car being towed behind a car. You just don't do that.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm just asking. I have no clue.
No, that's exactly why I chose.
I
told
understand
Sarah to take
that
the back
part,
road.
but I'm just trying to.
So you,
I'm
not sure. What is the convenience of taking the back roads because of that? Did he just turn his ring light on? How much longer does that
Because-
add?
I mean, you can't with towing. You can't go like
Time.
70 miles an hour and pull something.
Exactly. You can only go 35, 40 miles an hour at
I
top.
understand that part, but
On a tow truck?
No, it wasn't a tow truck. We literally,
Don't people tow
Hi,
trailers
Minnie.
all the time?
there was no, yeah.
they did
We
it with
weren't
like
on
a
a
rope.
trailer. We literally were on a tow strap,
Gotcha.
like
Okay.
a strap
I got
that was connected
Okay.
directly to his vehicle to the back of the truck.
Gotcha. Okay. A tow strap. I understand now.
They didn't get home till 10:20.
I don't really understand.
Seven.
Well, I appreciate.
Oh, look. Oh, my God.
I think he found out it was dinner time.
Ouch. Oh, my God.
With Adrian at 4:47.
Oh, look, they're serving dinner.
Nice.
Ouch.
All right, man. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I appreciate you answering. Best of luck to you, man. Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
answering.
Hey, I
my
appreciate
questions.
you guys. Like I said, I'm sorry to cut it off. You know,
That's all right.
I don't have a
Take that back, by the
problem
way.
answering questions. Like I said, I'm trying to be upfront with everybody and give my side of the story because I want people to understand. Like, and that's why I provided the timestamps for everything
Trust
because
me.
I know that those are definitely going to help people understand where it's at.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
doing that. I'm gonna look up some stuff tonight, and we'll.
Hey, and will you
Never
do that
came
for me,
back.
Justin?
Yeah, I got you. No
All
problem.
right, thanks.
Well, thank you, Josh, for coming.
I told you no.
No, I told
told you
yes.
don't. I told you I don't want to do it.
No,
You
I
made me.
told
You made me do it.
No, tomorrow we got tomorrow too.
We?
We
I don't know. He ain't coming back if I'm here. I'll tell you that.
you will.
He didn't.
You think so?
Yeah. There's just a lot of shit that doesn't make sense here.
Yeah, and he didn't come back. And let me share this with you really quick. So this was after. This was after that. He said. I don't know why. He said, be honest. This is the message. He said, be honest, man. Y'all ain't on my side at all or have ever been. You literally are bound and determined to have me arrested. It's all y'all's goal. I said, I can't have you arrested. And I said, well, personally, I don't believe the story. And then he said, I know why y'all are getting me to do interviews to see if my story changed so you can pick and prod. Like you're going to believe what you want. Personally, I don't care. And then he said, and I'm not scared at all, FYI. And I said, of what? And he says, of getting charged. Hence why I'm in Idaho and Brandon and Adrian are on the run. And there was some more to it, but I don't want to subject you to that. But he said that I'm a pathetic imbecile to the world. You act like you're on top of the world and think y'all are problem solvers, but in reality, you're just a bunch of bitches. And then he spelled imbecile, EMBASOL. And I just responded, it's spelled imbecile, IMBECILE. And that was pretty much the end of that. Although he did ask me for money, I told him to eat and then, whatever. It's just imagine calling somebody an imbecile and then not spelling it correctly. I found that was just ironic to me. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Please hit that like on the way out. I appreciate everything. There it is, the 4-part series, and we'll pick up on it when more news happens, and I'm sure that it will. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here again. Yeah, that's how you spell that. That's how you spelled it. What's happening? Thank you guys for being here. I just want to thank everybody who helped with the information and helped me with these shows to get them ready. I really do appreciate it. Brandy, Tyler, family, Michael. I feel like justice is coming. Truly believe it's coming. Blue hearts for Michael.